All right. Welcome, everyone. We all know Cristiano Ronaldo, right? The global superstar, the absolute icon. But today, for this explainer, we're not actually looking at the trophies or the fame. We're looking at the forge that created him. How did that elite, completely unstoppable mindset actually get built? Let's dive right into his origin story and see exactly how some incredibly early challenges shaped an absolute legend.
Okay, let's dive into this, because there is a fundamental difference between those who are defeated by life and those who conquer it. And honestly, it all comes down to reframing. On one hand, you can view childhood struggles as this unfair burden that's just holding you down. But on the other hand, you can view those exact same struggles as the very reason you need to develop an unstoppable drive. And Ronaldo, he consciously chose the latter. Instead of seeing his difficult childhood as a weight, he used it as the definitive reason to just push harder.
Section 1. A difficult beginning. The Crucible of Madeira.
And this brilliantly illustrates where it all started. To truly understand the superstar, we have to go back to the young boy growing up in Madeira, Portugal. His family had very, very little. Life was far from easy. But that demanding environment, it was an incredible training ground. It taught him right away that absolutely nothing is handed to you. Everything requires hard work. It taught him that to get anywhere, you literally have to make sacrifices. And above all, it taught him profound gratitude. Those difficult years didn't just happen to him. They fundamentally shaped his entire character.
Because he completely rejected the idea of being a victim, he arrived at this relentless, highly practical conclusion. If he wanted a different future, well, he would have to earn it. Nobody was coming to save him. Actually, scratch that. It's more like he realized if he wanted to escape the hardships of his youth, he had to go out and physically build the escape route himself. And that realization, that was the birth of his absolute accountability.
Which brings us to Section 2, the ultimate sacrifice, the cost of greatness.
Now, what's really interesting about this is having determination is one thing, right? But acting on it, that actually requires giving something up. 12. Just sit with that number for a second. 12 years old. That is the age Ronaldo was when he made this massive, incredibly painful choice to leave his home and join Sporting CP's academy. Leaving everything behind, missing his family deeply at such a young age, it was an immense emotional weight. The sources actually highlight this as one of the hardest, most vulnerable moments of his entire life.
But you can see the direct progression here, right? We go from a really difficult childhood in Madeira, across that heartbreaking leap at age 12, straight through to becoming the global superstar we know today. It's like a giant puzzle, where that painful choice wasn't just a detour, it was the necessary direct bridge from his difficult beginnings to his ultimate dream.
Moving on to Section 3, Honoring the Past, the Fuel for a Legend.
You might think a global icon would just want to leave those painful memories in the rearview mirror, but Ronaldo completely embraces them, and it results in a very specific kind of hunger. This relentless, insatiable desire to keep improving, fueled entirely by the memory of having very little. When people marvel at his longevity in the sport, well, the answer is right here. He uses the memory of having nothing as high-octane fuel to make sure he never, ever stops pushing forward.
It really comes down to this incredibly powerful philosophy. Success isn't about forgetting the past, it's about honoring it. For Ronaldo, the poverty, the homesickness, none of it was a shadow to hide from. Every single hurdle was literally a brick in his foundation. By honoring those struggles, he used them to build one of football's absolute greatest legacies.
Which leads us to our final part, Section 4, Building Your Own Foundation, the Universal Lesson. So the crucial point here is how all of this applies directly to you and me. Because this isn't just a sports biography, right? It's a framework for life. Difficult beginnings do not have to limit our future. That's the core takeaway we're looking at. The toughest, most challenging moments in our lives are rarely the end of the road. In fact, if we use the exact same mental reframing that Ronaldo did, the barrier actually becomes the path.
Which brings us to a provocative question I want to leave you with as we wrap up today. What past challenge will become the foundation for your greatest achievement? Take a moment, think about the struggles you faced, and choose to reframe them. Turn them into the fuel for your own future. Thanks for tuning into this explainer today. Until next time, keep reframing and keep building your foundation.